Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about what's coming up next on The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 3. Before we dive into this, I want to let you guys know that we were doing predictions heavily a few years ago, and then last year I think we cut it off completely just because when we do prediction videos, we're getting flooded with people from the spoiler community just putting spoilers or people hiding spoilers poorly in their predictions. When you got 50 people with the same prediction and it's an actual spoiler, it's like, ouch. It's, so we know it's clearly a spoiler. So we're dipping our toes in and we're keeping the prediction videos loose, general, trying not to dive in too deep, but I want to say, just be careful in the comments section if you don't want any spoilers. Leave your comment and then bounce. Don't go wandering around down there because you're likely to run into something you don't want to see. Anyhow, and the second thing is, I'm feeling under the weather today, so this video is late. 9:02. The deeper into I'm really excited about this one, especially. That one might be a few hours late, or it might roll over to a Wednesday release. I'm trying to make some corrections or make some adjustments so those get out quicker. But anyway, I'll talk to you about that another time. Let's dive into the predictions for 9:03. This looks like it's pretty straightforward. It looks like it is a mystery everyone's trying to solve. Who is attacking the patrol roads, the trade routes? Saviors went missing, and one of the saviors said that those guys, some of them even have family, like newborns. They wouldn't just up and disappear, even if they didn't like the conditions. Where are they going to go? It just doesn't make sense for them to disappear. So something foul is happening. Not only that, in 9:02, at the end, we've seen Justin be attacked. We know in the trailer he is likely dead because it looks like his body laying there being eaten by walkers. So let's move on to the prediction video. The first thing is a sneak peek. You got Maggie here taking her part of the deal of tomatoes and crops and stuff like that to the meeting point, the drop-off point with the saviors. This guy gives her a little insult. He's calling himself Mud when she asks what his name is. And I'm assuming that is his way of expressing his job title. Like, I'm just a worker, I'm just mud, I'm treated like dirt, and then you're just the widow. And again, it comes off as kind of like an insult. I can't play these or else AMC will flag them. So if you want, I'll leave the links to them in the video description. They're on the AMC channel, so you could just search AMC and it'll pop right up. It's one of the newer videos. And the other sneak peek doesn't have much, but it shows something that I really appreciate, and we're definitely going to cover it in the review coming up. But it shows Rick and Daryl talking about the saviors, and Daryl says something interesting. He says, Rick, do you ever just stop and think about what they would do if they could do it? And this is what I love about the writing this season is that makes sense. Instead of Daryl just walking off in a hiff, in a hissy fit, is hiff even a word, with his grunts and growls, he says something that actually makes sense. Yeah, the saviors are working with you guys. For the most part, some of them, a lot of them maybe even, are fine with that. But there's a good chunk that if they had the position of power, they would probably revolt and, turn it around and attack and not want to cooperate, not want to work with them. And I love that. I love the idea of Rick trying to push the communities forward as a whole, and Daryl is like, listen, there's some of them that's just not going for it. Next up, and this is one thing I want to highlight, you have Laura and A-Rat. It seems like they're trying to get to the middle to break up the fight. And this thing I love. Do you see how many bodies are here? Do you see how many extras are here? Remember when we first walked into the hilltop, and there's like 5 people there, and it looked so weak? It looks so barren. Well, they actually have a lot of extras here at this campsite, at this construction site, and it actually helps the immersion, man. If there was only 10 saviors standing around, and 10 other good guys standing around, it looks real weak, but just having bodies there, and I'm assuming that fight, you can see Jerry, if they show it here, you can see Jerry has a little bust on his lip. Matter of fact, let's dive into some of the images. The images are a little clearer. I got some images that aren't from the trailer, that are from episode 903. They're official images, so no spoilers, but we have Daryl and Maggie. They seem like they're on a run. But like I said, the trailer doesn't have much in it. Rick Grimes with probably one of the last times we're going to get the side eye with Rick and his python. Oh, that just hurt me. That just hurt my soul. Let's look at some of these pictures. We have Jerry here with his busted lip. This is from that beef. I just noticed that. Look at that. We got Maggie there. Okay, so Maggie is probably heading to this camp. That's where she runs into this asshole dude. There is this beef, this fight breaking out, and it's most likely from this guy or others wondering where their people is. One person says something, the other person says something, and it blows out of proportion. Keep an eye on her because she's a part of my favorite theory right now. I express it a little bit in my deeper into the 902 video, which, like I said, it might be a little late, but I'm really trying hard to make it nice and polished, at the same time get it out at a reasonable time. But we got Rick Grimes here with Daryl's crossbow. How cool is that? I like that. I don't know why, but I like it. Anyway, he's just badass. What do you want me to say? Jerry with his busted lip still. This is a part of the fight. And what did I save that image twice? Now we got Daryl standing in the same position as Rick. What is going on here? So I guess Daryl's standing there with his crossbow. Some shit's popping off. And he's like, here, Rick, hold my crossbow. Because they're almost in the same spot. I don't know if that's a promo image, but wow, just steal my heart. We got Michonne, and they do show some nice images. We're going to get to it of Michonne and Rick in Alexandria. And again, it's really showing that family aspect, and it's really showing Rick what he's really striving for. This is interesting. This seems like they want us to think this has to do with the missing saviors, or this has to do with the Carol. Carol has been taken hostage, and so a savior put a knife to her throat, and they want us to think that is a part of it, but I don't think that. I think she is coming to the trash site, and it has to do with the helicopter. And I really don't know what else they're going to do there, because the helicopter, it can't be like a bad thing. So why does she have the gun? Maybe she's unsure. I don't know. It's tricky. We have Michonne here, Rick, and baby Judith. Again, I love this. This looks like a different actress, little actor completely. That does not look like baby Judith for some reason. They might have just traded out the actress, it's like a double if the camera's behind them. But they show a little picnic they have in Alexandria. Yeah, maybe that's the little actress. I think this is sweet. This is freaking adorable. You got Rick there. He was probably having a sword fight with his daughter. He's taking a break. And then Michonne is teaching her the ropes, teaching her how to be a badass. I like that. She's so adorable with these little boots, man. Anyway, Rick having a little read, and this is interesting because we see them on the steps, we see them having a picnic, we see them having a sword fight. Are these scenes in between filming? Are they going to have a lot of family moment scenes? Is it going to be a montage where we see Rick having a picnic and then reading, enjoying his day before or after he has to go to work? Knowing the pacing, this is episode 3, and this is going to punch you in the gut if you're a Rick fan. Look at what they're doing here. We have the picnic. We have my love here. We have the reading on the steps. We have all this family time. Rick is gone in episode 905. That's his last episode, which means we are probably watching one of the very last times Rick is going to be around Judith. That is why they are hyping this up so much. They're giving us that family feels right before they sucker punch us right in our balloon knots. Next up, we have Scott with a walkie-talkie. There might be some problems here. Maybe they're trying to figure out what happened with the one savior. Maybe that is even a part of it. Maybe the savior was telling the truth, Justin, and somebody did sabotage the walkie-talkies, because that seemed like it could play a bigger role instead of just being that one throwaway line, having Aaron get hurt in that way. We got Maggie and Daryl on a little run. I'm assuming Maggie brings the fruit and stuff, fruit and vegetables to I don't even know what all she has for them, but her crops, she brings that to the campsite. There's a whole beef going on, and then her and Daryl go out on a run. On this run, they run into some trouble. I love this image here. A little bit of the fog in the air. In the trailer, there's zero fog, so either it was 2 different times they were filming it, 2 different days, or different parts of the day, or they added some digital fog. Either way, I do love this image. Then again, if this is an image from them filming, that it probably wouldn't be digital. I don't know what I'm talking about, unless this is an image from the actual. It doesn't matter. Anyway, them going on the run, scavenging. I'm assuming gas for his motorcycle, gas for the hilltop in general. If they need a little extra, I'm assuming it's just for his motorcycle. And then her and Daryl are talking about how they gave Rick's, they gave Rick's way a chance. And things don't look like it's going to work out. We got these saviors and the beef heating up. The saviors coming out on the road really aggressive, blocking the way they spoke to Maggie. It is like they are still the saviors again. And keep in mind, that's a very interesting thing now that I think about it. That's powerful stuff, because you have the roadblock, which is how we were introduced to the saviors and Negan in every single way. The first time we were introduced to the saviors with the roadblock with Daryl and Abraham and Sasha, and then we had the other altercations, but then we had the roadblocks in the end of episode 6 for the season finale, and then you have other interactions with them that it's very reminiscent when they are traveling in the wagon and the saviors just come out on the road. The saviors are supposed to be equals now. If not, they're supposed to be beaten and whooped and thankful that they weren't killed. Instead, what do? They didn't learn shit. They're acting like they're still partially running shit. They just block the road, just like in the past. And again, that is a very scarring memory for Maggie, so she probably was furious. I just thought of that with the roadblock shit. She was probably furious. Now, I don't know if Daryl killed these. I'm trying to look for arrows. He could have collected them, but this would be interesting if they're out looking to scan the area or the perimeter to look for the lost people. We see Rick. We know Rick and Carol are out looking for people as well. We know Carol and Rick run into that one guy. The guy puts a knife to Carol's throat. That's in the old trailer. We know Rick in the newer trailer has his gun out, and he's clearly talking to that dude. And he's like, listen, if you go through with this a little further, there's no going back. It is done for you. So either they kill these walkers or they come up on someone else who was here recently that killed those walkers. I think that would be interesting. And the girl from Oceanside is there too. And we get Rick. It looks like Rick might be somewhere around that run with them. So that's interesting as well. I want to end on this. My favorite theory so far for who is killing the people is the Oceanside community. Now, I know that's a bit of a stretch, but there's just something I like about how the saviors are the ones. And I know it was Simon's call, and he's gone. That was dealt with. And Simon also killed the junkyard people, and Judith doesn't seem to care about the other saviors. She knows it was Simon's call. She's good with it. But something about the Oceanside group and wanting to get revenge on the saviors that killed all their men and boys. Keep in mind, even if it was just Simon's call, some of those saviors murdered some of those ocean wives' children, boys, 12 years, 13 years old. Their sons and their husbands, murdered them, lined them up, shot them in cold blood. So if anyone has a motive, that is strong motive. I know a lot of us are thinking, and it could be somebody wants to throw a wrench into Rick's plans and mess things up, but I like that idea so much about someone who's just touched, and can't deal with this, working with them and living next to them, knowing that some of these people are ones. And it would be even interesting if we find out that Justin was there. Justin was a part of the group that killed the men at Oceanside. I think that, or the pre-Oceanside, wherever they were before they moved to Oceanside. That right now is one of my favorite theories, but I'm open for pretty much anything that they got going on now. But you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Rick's final moments with Judith, and who do you think is the one killing the Saviors. And again, like I said, episode 903 is primarily, I feel, going to focus on the mystery of who's attacking the trade routes and killing Saviors. So thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking, so it's your turn.